Welcome to part 3 of Competency 5. In this video, we will work with one-to-one and non-one-to-one functions. Recall that a one-to-one function passes the vertical line test. Note the green lines going through both graphs. The first one only touches the graph of x to the third once, therefore it is one-to-one. Looking at the second graph, which is x to the second power, it touches the green horizontal line twice, therefore it is not one-to-one. Also note that x squared is an even function and x cubed is an odd function. Keep these facts in mind as we move through our questions. Number 1, n equals, and we have set notation. We've seen this in a prior video. But what we need to pay attention to in this kind of notation is that we have the equation y equals 4x squared. And we are looking at all the real values of x. And it asks, is n a one-to-one function? So does it pass the horizontal line test? Let's graph that. So push y equals, go over 4x, square it. Now, does it pass the line test? Well, let's put a line in there. So let's say y equals 2. We could say 1. Now let's push graph. Oh, look, when we graph it, it does right here, it does hit in 2 places. So therefore, this is not a one-to-one function. Let's go to number 2. P equals, now this is different notation. This is a set of the actual ordered pairs, and we have 3 of them. Is this one-to-one? Okay. Well, first we need to say, is it a function? Well, to see if it's a function, here. Because notice we have the same setup. It's asking, is it one-to-one? It is not one-to-one. It is not a function. None of these above. Well, it's a function because our y values don't repeat. Now, on that same note, if we're looking at is it one-to-one, now we're looking at the y values. That's what you focus on for one-to-one. Well, I have no repeats. So yes, I'm going to say that P is a one-to-one function. However, let's do this. Let's say second y equals, let's turn this on. And look, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and then we're going to go put them in, okay? And we've got the one we want, and they're going to be in green. And we need to populate L1 and L2, okay? You may have done this with me in other videos for other reasons, but let's back out of that. We got it all set up. Now let's go to our y equals. We need to clear these out, but keep, well, no, let's go ahead and just clear this out. We could put it in, but not yet. Let's clear it. Okay, so now we need to go stat, and we want the number 1 to edit, so push enter. Now let's populate with these 3. So I'm going to go ahead and clear out the ones we had. We did this for a different one, so push clear, enter. Always do clear, because we are clearing it out. We are not deleting, and I've said that before. Okay, 0, enter. Then that next one's -2. I'm putting in the yellow highlighted, and then 10. Now pop over, and our y's all go in our L2. So that's 5, enter, 9, enter, and -1. Now let's go to our graph. And we're going to have to, let's do 0 zoom fit. That's not helping us. Let's zoom out. Enter. enter again. Okay, now you see. Here's the key. Now, maybe I can zoom in just a little bit. It's kind of touchy. Now, let me move my cursor and then zoom out so I can reposition it. Or we could do square. Let's do 5. Let me do, oh, there it is, zoom 5. That did it instead of playing. Okay, sometimes I can't remember which one does which, and you have to kind of play with it. Okay, so as you can see, if I did a horizontal line anywhere near or through any of these points, I'm not going to get a repeat. So yes, we have verified graphically. Okay, so let's go back and see where I'm at y equals. Go up and arrow over, highlight. Remember, that's plot 1 is the one we had on. Just push enter and it'll turn it off. So let's go to number 3. I didn't want that on when we're trying to graph number 3. Okay, Q, and again, we have Q and set notation, and we're saying all of the ordered pairs for y equals 6 plus x to the third. Well, first thing in observation, you should see that that is odd, and I know that how this function will look, and I can tell you that yes, it is a function, so we get rid of that, and I can also tell you because it's odd, it is going to be 1 to 1. But we're going to verify that graphically. We're already there in y equals. So let's say 6 plus x carried up to the third. Okay. And let's graph. There you go. Now let's go back. Let's put our line test in, we can put it in anything, obviously. So let's say 1 and graph. No, it does not cross. And if we did that anywhere that's in our view, we can see, obviously, that it is not going to cross twice. It only touches once. Therefore, it is 1 to 1. All right, let's look at number 4. It says art. Now we have, it's the same setup as number 2. We have all these ordered pairs. Well, let's see if we have repeated y values. Remember, that's the key to being 1 to 1. Oh, I already see them here and here. So I'm going to have to say, no, that is not 1 to 1. However, let's even check if it's a function. Let's see, a 2, -2. Yes, it's definitely a function. None of my x's repeat, but my y's repeat, so it is not 1 to 1. It's still a function. Okay, now let's graph that. So first we go to y equals, clear out all of this, and we can go up and go ahead and just turn on our first plot. Okay, but to get to that, we need to say second y equals. Okay, now we're on our plot, and let's push enter, and let's make some changes with it before we enter it in our y1, y2. The green was kind of hard to see. Oh, let's go with orange. I bet that'd pop really good. So let's go with orange, and I've pushed enter to make sure it's there. Now, remember, we need to go to stat, number 1, and I'm going to clear out all my dots because looks like I have more, so I don't make any mistakes. So remember, you push clear enter, go up, highlight it. See how I highlighted number L1, and I push clear enter, and that gets me where I want to be. So I'm going to say 8 enter. I'm all my it's the underlined X values. Okay, so 8 enter, 2 enter, -2 enter, 5 enter, and 3 enter. Okay. And then pop over and let's go with 6 enter, and then that should be 5 enter. Now be careful. 5 was underlined. I didn't, yes, 6, 8, 6, 2, 5. Okay, the next one is -4, so I should have -2, -4. That's correct. And the next one should be 5, 1. So I'm putting in 1, 1. And then 3 and 6 again. Okay, and just a quick double check. Great. Now let's push graph. And there it is. And ooh, notice, okay, let's go to our y equals and let's put in, instead of 1, let's put in 6. Okay, and graph again. And yes, it goes through both. So obviously, we've graphed a visual representation that verifies the number 4. Option B is correct. Okay, moving on to the next. Use the following to answer questions 5 and 6. Okay, number 5 says, which of the sets above are functions but not one-to-one? Okay, if you remember from prior video, we discovered that S and W aren't even functions. So we're only going to look at functions for this one. So anything with S or W, it's not an option for this one. Okay, that leaves us with C and D, and we need to see if they're not one-to-one. Okay, looking at T. Okay, notice also, observe that we only need to look at T, U, and V for this question. Okay, looking at T, that is a linear situation and it is an odd function. Therefore, it is one-to-one, and we're looking for not. So that one doesn't satisfy our question. It is one-to-one. So I'm going to put over here, it is one-to-one. Okay, now let's look at U. Okay, how do you know if it's one-to-one? You look to see if any of the Y values repeat. And I'm looking right here, and I'm going to say these two repeat. So it is not 1-to-1. Okay, so that one works, but look at option C. We can't use C because T, it's one-to-one. It's not what we're looking for. Okay, so in U, okay, that works, but let's look at V. Does V work? Well, that is an even function. Notice that that's even. Therefore, it is not one-to-one, so it satisfies our question. I'm going to put here not one-to-one, so it's option D. But let's go ahead and do something. I want to graph U and take a look at U. Okay, so first, let's go to Stat and Edit. I want you to notice that I have already set up in L1 and L2 the points in U. So let's double check. We have 1, 3, yes, -2, 4, yes, and 3, -3, and 9, 4. Okay, so let's go to our Y equals rather, and let's go up and go over. We need to turn on plot 1, and let's turn off plot 2. Notice I highlighted, then I just push enter and it's turned off. Okay, now we saw that the 4s repeat. So let's do Y equals 4, and let's push graph. And notice that our line goes right through 2 points, therefore it is not one-to-one, although it is a function. It does not pass the horizontal test, but it passes the vertical. Okay, so number 5, verified. Let's go to number 6. Which of the sets above is a one-to-one function with the domain values that are the same as the range values? Okay, now if you watched earlier in the prior video, we graphed all these and we're saying the same range. You can go back and graph these, and we've already graphed U. It doesn't have, just visually we can see the Y's, the X's and Y's are different. See, S, the X values and Y values don't all repeat, so that's not going to work. So I'm just going to go straight to the chase and tell you the only one that works right here, and we can see it visually, is Y. Okay. The reason X doesn't work is because we have a limitation. Okay. It limits us, and we look at that. We can graph it and then go to, like, when you graph that, here, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go second, and actually, let's just go to Y equals. So we can just go up and over and turn that off, and let's graph that. It is 5x carried up to the third. Okay, I'm going to graph it. Remember, we only can look at x 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so there's a graph. Let's go second and graph to get our table. And I'm just going to arrow down real quick. All right, notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Obviously, the only thing that's repeating here is 5. So no, that can't be it. So now let's go down. We have eliminated every single thing except for C. And notice you see one here, one is an X, one is in Y. Two is in Y, two is in X. See how it repeats XY and X, then it's in Y. Okay, let's look at this. I've already got it set up. So let me go to stat, push enter. I've populated L3 and L4 with these points. So you might want to go and do that. Remember, we've shown you that before in prior videos. Okay, now we've populated it, but what we need to do is say, let's just go ahead and go to second Y equals, and I have actually put all of it in number 2, plot 2. So I highlighted that. Let's push enter. And as you see, I need to turn it on. See, now it's flashing with on highlighted. And I turned on the dot plot, and I said, okay, I want it in 3, I want it in 4, and I have little X's, or actually little plus symbols to show in my graph. Okay, so let's take a look at this. There's my graph. Oh, I need to go back and clear out my prior one. And now look up in the plot. See how it's highlighted? It's turned on. Graph it again. That's an interesting graph. It has lines that we could put through it, but they're not horizontal or vertical. Therefore, it is a function as well as one-to-one. Okay, this is the last question for this video. Thank you so much, everyone, for your subscriptions, your sharing, and your liking. It is greatly appreciated. You guys are the best. Happy testing, everybody.